Evening. You know how when you're doing the right thing, or you're meant to be doing something, the universe keeps kind of nudging you in the right direction? Over the last couple of days, I've just ended up next to rivers, on them sometimes. After Gary and Marsha picked me up from Seymour, Missouri, we loaded the bike onto their car and then drove 50 miles towards the east, the direction I was due to be heading, and had a lovely day off. Gary and I went paddling on the Jack Forks River. Marsha is not a fan of the water, so she stayed on land.
No, I'm not coming with you. I like my feet on the ground.
You have to be forced to go on the water, don't you?
Oh, I would have to be.
It was really, really lovely to be back on the river as well with Gary. It was just, it was so peaceful, just going with the flow. No crazy hurry, no noisy boats like this. Snakes and birds and turkey vultures. And then Saturday morning I was just facing, I guess, a self-set dilemma. So I'd ridden to Seymour and we'd driven 50 miles up Highway 60 in the direction that I was ultimately going. Way back when in California, I'd ridden about almost 200 miles, and then once restarting in Glenwood Springs, I kind of imagined that my official mileage counter for Expedition 1000, my attempt to get these 1,000 miles, would restart again. But I was actually at about 988 miles when we finished in Seymour. Then other things, it's been so cloudy, big bands of rain coming up. So I knew there were going to be rain for the next 2 or 3 days if I started in Seymour, and the temptation was almost just to drive as far, as close to Memphis as possible, and then just really enjoy the last couple of days. But something just didn't sit right, so I asked them to drop me back in Seymour. So it was 100 miles out of their way, 50 miles once, and then 50 miles back again. But they did it because they're great friends, and I feel so glad that I stayed true to that promise. It's all very well kind of skipping a section or packing things up and resetting for safety reasons or health, but there was no good reason. Like dodging rain wasn't a good reason. If it had been a flash flood, different story. If it was so heavy that I felt like I was in danger on the road, maybe. Anyway, back to Seymour. Here we are again. Here we go again.
We are back to the same place.
Bike off the roof, put it together again, and then off. Yes.
Yay! Yes.
Made 50 miles last night, right back to Willow Springs, pretty much where we'd been for the last 2 days. Marsha wrote me a little line last night saying, "Do you ever feel like you're treading water?" Right back where we started. But the journey was so different on a bike to how it was in a car. Even though I was on this wide, hard shoulder of a fairly busy highway, it feels so rewarding to have traveled it on the bike. And also I stopped off for lunch. The only option was McDonald's, and as I walked into this place I met this lady called Dixie. This lovely lady Dixie bought me a meal.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
As I was walking in, Dixie said, "You're in hillbilly country now, don't you know?" People are so amazing. I had a little chat with them. They had a friend who was very Trumpy. Immediately he launched into this kind of angry political rant about, just shitbags living in slums in California and, just the most overtly racist stuff. And it's just like, come on. There's so much more to everybody than the politics. Come on. At some point I'll talk about the conversations that I've had with people, because I'm so interested in American politics, always have been, and obviously we're living in such an interesting, divisive, unsettling time. But this isn't the time for that, because I'm talking about peaceful rivers. So today I rose early. The weather forecast is the big thing at the moment. Where's the rain? When am I going to get hit? There's nothing worse than being on a highway shoulder when the rain is just puddling and the trucks come by, just, shedding off that spray and just cover it. It's so unsettling. and unbalancing sometimes. So I don't really want to be out there when it's raining heavily. Although towards the end of today's 60 miles, as I was coming into Van Buren, Missouri, I got absolutely nailed. I got rained on. Flying down a hill. Oh, that's awesome. Very refreshing. I'm just a drowned rat. So now I'm in Van Buren, right next to the Current River. Annoyingly, I stopped early, got myself a room, and that's because the forecast was just due to bomb all afternoon. Rain, rain, rain. It's 7 o'clock now, it still hasn't rained. So annoying. But also really nice to rest. View's pretty good. And just soak this up. I was just hanging around down the river and met 3 lovely ladies who've come in from Kansas City, and they take urban youth and bring them out on the river. And it was so good to see projects like that. There's nothing more important than getting people out into nature. And I just want to point out, those ladies are not the only people getting on the river around here. Look at all of these! I have never seen hundreds and hundreds of inflatables before. I can't imagine how many drunk people have been floating down this river. That's awesome. I'm 180 miles from Memphis now. I've never ridden a bike into Memphis, but I've paddleboarded in a couple of times and ridden various craft out. But kind of coming at it from a completely different angle to this city that I absolutely adore and love. I'm really excited just to see it slowly appear on the horizon. So all is good on this road trip. I've been led to 2 rivers just in the last couple of days, and it's probably no surprise because in 1 week I'll be preparing to dip into the Mississippi once more. Feels good, feels good. Oh yeah! One last thing, I crossed over 1,000 miles. That is an amazing feeling. So the Azeb recumbent is now part of Expedition 1000. I've travelled 1,000 miles or more on 15 different forms of non-motorised transport now. Only 10 to go. I mean, it's a long old project, isn't it? Blimey. I turned 40 in 2 months' time. Wow, that's crazy. I'm still in my early 20s in my head, and I'm pretty sure everybody who's kind of mid-30s up is like, yeah, me too. But I still act like I'm in my early 20s, and that's not to say immature most of the time. Just, I'm trying my devil best not to let kind of aging hold me back. Mentally more than physically. What a cool early birthday present. Another 1,000 miles and a river. Thanks for watching, everyone.